You know we're going to see this kid dead at some point.
In the rebellion? The citizens, when they start?
Who the fuck knows? It's just they're making him way too cute.
Yeah.
And this is about to be a war thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're not going to see him dead. We're going to see the toy broken somewhere, and we're never going to see him again.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back with another episode of Legend of the Galactic Heroes. We come back, as we typically do, with notes and a board. So let's go ahead and hit up that board first thing.
Although technically Gundam has a much bigger board if you think about it. But it has multiple series on it, so... Just each part is smaller.
I'm not arguing with the element if it's bigger. I don't know if it has the same number of characters.
No.
Anyway, board changelog. I added Rebello, I added Royal Sanford, I added Huang Ru, added Cornelia Windsor. I connected Rebello to Sithole and Ru with a green line. I connected Cornello to Rebello and Ru with a white line. I added Andrew Falk and connected him to Yang and Ulanaho with a white line. I connected Ulanaho to Yang with a green line. I added Joshin von Remschild and connected him to Rubinsky with a green line. And then ultimately I made a invasion force mini board at the very top alongside the Kaiser's family tree.
Where's Falk here, though? I guess he doesn't count, I guess.
I remember he was part of the organization team. I don't remember he was part of the actual invasion force. When, what's his name, goes down the list of everyone who's a part of the force, he doesn't list Falk.
I think I see a lot of dead people in the near future.
I mean, I hope so.
I hope not.
Well, it's your side. Of course you hope not. A lot of dead people in your future means victory for me.
Yeah, that's actually not a good thing.
It is for me. The more of you that are dead, the less likely I am to have anybody dead on my side.
Well then, let's get to the notes then. Episode 12. We only have one set of notes because, we only recorded one episode last time. So now we only have one episode of notes to go for. It's easier on me, but that means, we're putting off stuff for the future. Episode 12, The Invasion of the Empire. It is very interesting that the opening has a member of the PKC, I was saying PFC for some reason, Patriotic Knights, whatever, in full gear in an open political rally, while the narrator is saying that capturing Isolon infected the Alliance population with victory fever. The mass goons that Tronik does not have and does not control in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, they're a public entity. They go around in trucks that are labeled with their identity on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're not like, but yes, obviously they are a political group, but they also say everything. Violence. They say everything everyone agrees with.
Yeah, but also known for their violence and oppression of others, and so that would make him a criminal group.
But they're not, because they are a group that's allowed to exist.
That's part of the problem with the Alliance. They're allowing things like this to exist.
A lot of problems with the Alliance. I told you, there's a guy, I always go back to that guy from the Empire who defected, and then was over here, and it was like, this place sucks, and wanted to go back to the Empire.
Yeah, but that was an error. That was a third party saying, yeah, I have problems with that conversation, because somebody who said it who never was there in the first place.
It was his own history. You're arguing with the narrator, which is my purview, not yours. Because it was the narrator saying it. It wasn't a third party saying it. It was the narrator saying it about his life. Funny how we talked about cars in the Empire, then we get to see the problems with cars in the Alliance. Someone enters some data incorrectly, and the computer that controls the roads shuts down for 4 hours. Horse-drawn buggy wouldn't have that problem. As a result of being short-handed due to the war effort, no less, meaning more and more people are being taken by the military for service, leaving the infrastructure back home to suffer. An extension of what we saw with the programmings at the school during Yang's segment of Gaiden.
I mean, they are fighting a war for their survival, so I understand. I have notes about that, not specifically about the. I
mean, I don't think that's an argument you can make at this point. You say they're taking this war for survival when legitimately the speeches that we get, like, just after this. It's not about the war for survival, it's a war for liberation and whatnot, at the cost of the lives of the civilians of the Alliance.
I know this. I have notes
from the elected council of leaders in a closed meeting of unrecorded shit.
We should be recorded, but sure. Talking about resources. And so you captured how many prisoners in Iceland? 500,000? And none of them put up a fight? Yeah, the bloodless takeover Iceland is still going to be a...
Well, it's not bloodless.
Sore point. Well, nearly bloodless.
500,000 prisoners taken at Iceland, and again we encountered how many assaulting it? Less than 100, that's for sure. We already discussed the size of the place before, but if you assumed that the 500,000 was the entirety of the Iceland complement, that would be so few people as to give the station an average population density of less than 1 person per cubic kilometer, clearly meaning that there would be small sections of inhabited space and vast sections of completely uninhabited space.
Yeah, I would say that a lot of it with machinery and automation, right, to power the weapons like the Thor hammer, but still, we don't know ratios of it. Those numbers have always been a problem, right? It was like, oh, we have huge numbers, but
again, we already discussed how big the station actually is. It's half the size of the Death Star 2. So we can take that to see how much generally inside the station there actually is, spread that out with the population number that we got. As I said, that's 0.7 people for every cubic kilometer of station.
My next point. I say that the Empire is failing, but as much as I hate to admit it, the Alliance is doing much worse.
And I disagree with you that the Empire is failing at all.
I'll go to the narrator who says literally the Empire is failing.
What did I just tell you a minute ago, Lessons? Arguing with the narrator is my purview. Mostly because I'm doing it in a math-centric base, where the narrator says something happened in 1 year, and I have it recorded as happening in a different year because something the fucking narrator said. So, the narrator, quite often wrong.
And the very Kaiser basically said that as well.
The Grey Kaiser? You're going to trust what the Grey Kaiser says?
The Kaiser.
No, the Grey Kaiser. Do you not remember his nickname? Yeah. See, you're judging the Empire as failing. You're not paying attention to the episodes where the Empire's history has been told to us. This guy doesn't want to lead. He's actively letting other people run the ship for him. And you're going to say, oh, that's evidence that the Empire's failing. No, it's not. It's evidence that the Kaisers, which, by the way, have a, 5 to 10 year lifespan between them, this one doesn't want to be here. Just because he wants to go down doesn't mean that the Empire is failing. Not for nothing, it's survived 36 Kaisers so far. If we were going to attach the description too big to fail, I would put that on the Empire right now.
But that's what they said of all empires, and they all collapse, so...
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that this one being any different. Except for whatever...
I'm not saying in perpetuity, it's too big to fail in perpetuity. I'm saying that it would take an awful lot for the Empire to collapse, and I think it would be a lot more visible than minor things that we've encountered throughout Gaiden. That the Empire's machinery is still working as intended. Whereas the Alliance is literally failing from the top as per that meeting that we just saw. The Empire is just a bunch of nobles trying to kill one another and one-up each other to get power. That's because that power exists, unlike when we go to the meeting room of all these state chiefs, which are literally the power's failing. And I don't mean that we are failing on power because our elections are going down. I mean literally somebody entered something wrong into the computer and the power's been turned off. Legitimately, this is the idiocracy future versus the Empire. It's just the mirror universe on Star Trek. One of these two factions can exist for a while. Go figure, the Secretary of Transportation, the sector we literally just got done seeing fail, is arguing for the pro-war side and against these selfish citizens that don't understand the need to sacrifice for the war effort. Good thing that they already indicated that these are always closed-door meetings. Otherwise, I'd have to wonder how this council manages to maintain its sitting position as head of the Alliance, considering the democratic society that they are supposed to represent. Of course, at the end of the day, they vote in favor of the assault for political reasons over humanitarian or practical ones, contrary to Reinhardt's own judgment of why the Alliance would invade.
I have my next note, I think, covers this quite a bit, so I'm going to just read it. This is a real damn if you do, damn if you don't, because I doubt that the Empire would have accepted a peace offering from the Alliance, whom they consider to be rebels and not an independent state. So offensive actions need to be taken to convince imperial leadership of accepting at least a temporary truce, which is also risky since it would allow both sides to reorganize and rebuild. So even in the case that you might get a truce, sure, I get to rebuild and reestablish our numbers, maybe generation, but that also means that the other side gets to rearm and rebuild. And whoever feels confident about, especially the empire, if a new upstart comes in and wants to make a name for themselves, the best way to do it is to launch another war against the alliance. So,
I mean, I disagree with your initial point that you have to attack the empire to instigate talk of truce. I say just hold on to the territory the same way that they did before. You basically have a line in the sand now.
Yeah, but it doesn't. I mean,
you say it didn't seem to work. It literally worked.
It didn't work in the political sense.
Well, I mean, that doesn't matter. I don't give a shit about those people.
No, it works. It has to be at the political level. Otherwise, you can't get a diplomatic ending. You have to convince the people.
No, sorry, you said political. I'm talking lessons. We just had a whole episode about these guys launching the attack because of their own politics of getting reelected. You can't use the word politics when talking about intergalactic politics versus the democratic politics. I'm saying you can't use that word without explaining what you mean because there's too much politics going on right now. Also, I would just say use the word diplomacy. I think you can. I think you literally can. Also, sorry, when I say you can, I mean hold up. I don't think you need to go for a truce. I know that's what Yang wants, but we're not talking about what Yang wants in this situation. I'm saying...
It seems that they actually do need a truce because...
No, I'm saying you hold on. We just saw they have 30 million troops that were willing to invade. Just use them as for defense. Legitimately, if you hold on to the Isilon line and, a couple of planets behind it, because that's all the Empire ever was able to get past. So, just literally hold that line, and you can maintain exactly what the Empire was able to maintain that whole time. No, we talk about rebuilding, we know exactly how big the invasion fleet is. So, pretty fucking big.
No. Yeah, let me reiterate here. We just came from a meeting where there was said that they couldn't withstand the Empire, the war as it was right now. So they were already failing. They need a truce to rebuild.
You and me are hearing different things, Lessons, and that's going to be the folly of this whole argument. They can't withstand their politics. We know what their fleet size is, and it's the largest goddamn fleet in the entire history of the show, because we've been keeping track through Gaiden and everything. So, the Empire, as we know, because of Phezin, is being kept at an equal pace. So, if the Empire's fleet is going to be equal to our fleet, we have Isilon, and that's exactly what held on for the Empire this whole time. We can just hold the base.
That won't be enough for them.
That's really based on your information.
No, that's what they're saying.
Again, Lessons, I am saying that we've heard different things, apparently, because that's not what I'm saying. I'm sorry, that's not what I am getting from the show.
At this point, the problem is that even at this
point,
Lessons,
hold on. Those guys are fucking idiots. What are you talking about? Why are you taking the idiot word for it? The pro-war, we need to sacrifice our own citizens for this.
No, I'm talking the anti-war position. They're already saying that they're already in trouble even before launching.
The people who aren't in charge with no contact with anybody are saying this shit.
No, the people in charge, like Rubello. Yeah, that's his name.
Oh, you're the finance minister and the human resources guy.
Yeah, the people who deal with the money to finance the war, and the people who have to deal with
you know what?
To be where.
That was an argument against the invasion. They can't afford the fucking invasion. I say if you hold back and just hold the line, you're not charging it. Like, you can put all those resources back in your own territory.
The problem is that they are unable to do that at this moment.
Again, that's your opinion. That's not the argument that he was making. I now understand what you're talking about, the finance minister and human resources guy. That they're talking about the failing nature of the infrastructure of the alliance based on what their based on what the current plans are to do. The maintaining of everything that they've been pushing into the war effort so far, which is again, the pro-invasion, the anti-pro-invasion argument. Yeah, holding back and just drawing a line in the sand does not require the same investment as the pro-invasion argument. They are arguing against the invasion, not against just stopping the entire fucking war.
Ultimately, that's what they're saying, because the conversation starts in the helicopter, right, with the finance minister. There's already we are strained. The only people that are working are the very young and the very old, so they're already in a strained position.
Right, they're talking about the investment of extending the war into the Empire.
No.
That's basically because they're not arguing the end of lessons. They're not arguing the end of the war. They're arguing against the invasion plan. They're saying we cannot afford more of this. We're already sacrificing our best and brightest. That's why the infrastructure is failing. We can't afford this monetarily.
That's the proof. You just said it.
That's not the proof, Lessons. You're arguing a completely different line. He is arguing we can't afford to extend this war even further than we are right now. We're barely maintaining, and we're going to fail that if we keep going. I'm saying that they draw the line, and they don't invest in building more and expanding out more, which is the pro-invasion plan, which they're already arguing against. They can maintain because they won't be spending as much. That was the entire point of taking Isolon. They no longer have to do all this crazy fleet shit that Bruce Ashby caused by his let's not build a station, let's build a giant fleet plan. So they can maintain and, in fact, reinvest that infrastructure back into the Alliance without getting rid of their military and putting an end to the war. They just need to stop investing as much as the pro-invasion plan would have them do, because now they have Isolon, which is like basically an entire fleet of its own.
It wouldn't work.
Based on you. Again, Lessons, you are the maxim of arbitrary definitiveness.
I'm basing it on what they said.
So am I. And I just explained everything, and I heard your explanation, and your explanation does not ring true to what I heard them say. You know what? We would be two politicians in that room because we would have all the same information, and we would argue exactly opposite stuff.
I do like that show puts emphasis on the economic and social impact of the war at home, at least for the Alliance. Well, for both sides, but clearly for the Alliance in this case.
I mean, there is an aspect of stuff that I know from Dynutes that I can't get into about that. It's been a basis of a lot of my arguments previous to this, where I've had to just back off because I know stuff. Not that Dynutes has been one for one with the main show. Like I said, they changed some stuff. Like the invasion of Isolon, I thought was done better in Dynutes. Because again, they didn't base it on, put down your guns. All right, I'm putting down my guns. It was the threat of death by everyone in the room because they filled it with cephal particles, and everyone's like, oh shit, if I fire my gun, I'm fucking dead, along with everybody else. It was a true hostage situation, not a, I guess I'll just listen to that guy because he's in charge. Or that rebellion wasn't just a bunch of toga-wearing nobodies. Well, now we know Pheasant's status, imperial territory, allowed autonomy, and trade with the Alliance. Everything that happens due to supplies or intelligence from Pheasant happens because the Empire allows it.
A convenient exit valve, I think, for the Empire overall.
Well, I mean, it allows trade to happen between the two, but it's the element that it's not that it's not that Pheasant's being guarded by the Alliance in any aspect, according to the narrator. Just so much that the Pheasant is being guarded by the Imperials.
My next note. Even if every citizen dies, that's what what's her name said, which gives me very strong Margaret Thatcher vibes, by the way. WTF? That is not only political suicide, but, actual suicide. It's like, everybody's dead, but we... What?
Given the element of how much people keep saying that questioning anything or possibly giving in to bad morale is pro-Empire, I would have to say that she's the most pro-Empire person with her pro-invasion thing that I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
Basically, we have to sacrifice all of our lives to improve the lives of the citizenry of the Empire. We've got to get them out of that tyrannical government that they're in by sacrificing all of our lives. That is the most pro-Empire thing I've ever heard. I mean, it's pro-imperial citizen, but at the same time, anti-Empire?
Well, they want to destroy the monarchy and, the absolute monarchy that is the Empire, so it would be something else.
Yeah, but I mean, it's literally, let's sacrifice everything from column A to save column B, but column B is where the Empire is at. It's not a let's take over the Empire. It's let's dissolve the imperial system and save the imperial citizens at the cost of our citizens.
Yeah.
So
it kind of reminds me of that meme of like A and B and question mark equals profit,
Well, I mean, it's literally cutting off your left hand to save your right hand.
Yeah.
Except that your right hand is on someone else's body at this point.
It's over there in the table. Nice.
I guess it's like you donated your right hand to somebody else, and then you had to cut off your own left hand to save their right hand no longer in your body. You're sacrificing yourself. Also, that person's sleeping with your wife and all that shit. Like, they are the worst. Yeah. They are literally acting against you in every respectable way, but you're gotta sacrifice of yourself to save what used to be you?
Because they're not even invoking like the original government, which was the Galactic Republic or something, or the Galactic Union. They're like, oh, we're gonna go back to that. We're gonna take down the Empire. Everybody's gonna be free. We're gonna go back to whatever that was. That's so long in the past that nobody even cares. That's just a footnote in history. Nobody's wishing to go back to that either. They're like, we will set ourselves on fire to save you. Like, well, this will be toasty for you, I guess.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, at the end of the day, the Alliance is so anti-Empire that they will kill themselves to get rid of the Empire. Whereas at the end of the day, the Empire views the Rebellion as their own citizens. And they just want their stuff back, as it were. You are property of us. We want our stuff back. The Empire's not willing to kill itself completely to get its stuff back. At least hasn't been expressed to us that way. So, of the two, the Alliance does seem crazier.
Stupider.
Of the three, the Alliance does seem crazier.
Not so much crazy, more like downright stupid. Like, I think this seems like a hyperbolic statement, but then when you send 30 plus million people to their deaths, it's like, well,
I mean, to be seen.
Maybe not.
We haven't sent them yet. Pheasant was founded by Leopold Rapp, a merchant from Terra. Adrian is only the 5th leader of Pheasant, which I guess interestingly shows the age difference between it and the Empire. 36 Kaisers in, 5 Landishers. But then we all know Atlandisher might live, for all we know, Atlandisher might live a full life, whereas a Kaiser's lifespan seems incredibly short.
Yeah. The turnover Kaisers.
Lifespan as a Kaiser, I should say. Kaisers all seem to be incredibly old, but at the same time...
By the time they get to be Kaisers, yeah. They kill each other.
Well, no. Kaisers can't kill each other.
Well,
there's no two Kaisers. There's one Kaiser who gets killed by somebody who then becomes Kaiser. Kaisers don't kill each other.
Well, the children of the Kaiser are perfectly willing to kill each other.
Yeah, but that's children of the Kaiser. Those aren't Kaisers.
Would-be Kaisers.
Those are princes.
Yeah. Do not become Kaisers because they killed each other. And that probably puts a strain on the living Kaiser to some extent. Thus making their lives even shorter. And on the case of the vote, right? Political survival trumps common sense, I guess. Although I wrote it that way, but then this is also political suicide as well as survival.
Well, doing nothing would be political suicide.
Doing nothing would be political suicide, but if we do this and I guess we fail, it also would be political suicide. So
right, but doing this and succeeding is the only window of opportunity.
Yeah.
It's literally damned if you don't, but maybe not damned if you do. Also, probably there's a lot of momentum to get it done because, I mean, they're very unpopular right now. So if they get out of office, they probably have a lot of problems facing them in the, life outside of this. Not for nothing, the Tuesday correspondent is still trying to figure out who killed Bruce Ashby.
Yeah.
And all of his other guys who all died, some in mysterious circumstance.
Drugs.
I'm not going to go through. I have it all in my timeline. I'm not going to go and figure out all of them again to list it.
And the biggest fear was that Bruce Ashby could become potentially a dictator, right? He was so popular that he could, if he entered politics.
It's probably just showing us what Yang's path towards leadership would be.
If he took it.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Reinhardt is willfully carving his path up through the Empire. Yang is being pushed from behind. He wants to retire. Sithol's, no, we need you. I'm going to retire after this. You're going to have to be here to make up for these idiots that are in charge. It's too important to have you not be here. So like I said, Yang is being pushed up by necessity by everyone around him, whereas Reinhardt is, pulling his way up despite the people ahead of him. So it doesn't matter what Yang wants. Yang is where he's going, no matter what. Now, we don't know, because in the Gaiden, the narrator tells us that, or I think Reinhardt tells us maybe, that he intends to have conquered the universe by such and such date. Whereas Yang doesn't have any of those aspirations. But again, it doesn't matter what Yang wants. Yang is being pushed to where he's going. I guess despite failures, Lobos got promoted at some point. Instead of a fleet admiral, he's now a marshal, which is technically, I guess, what Reinhardt's position is on the opposite end. Also, we must have met Konev early in his career the first time. He looks so much older now. And before he was a commander, and now he's a vice admiral. That was just my lead-up note into what I was doing on the board, where I put together the chart for the invasion force. Force organizer, Rear Admiral Kazern, Supreme Fleet Commander Marshal Lasal Lobos, Executive Chief of Staff Admiral Greenhill, Operations Chief of Staff Vice Admiral Konev, Intelligence Chief of Staff Rear Admiral Berlinen, and then, Vice Admiral Lefebvre's 3rd Fleet, Vice Admiral Bocock's 5th Fleet, Vice Admiral Haywood's 7th Fleet, Vice Admiral Appleton's 8th Fleet, Vice Admiral Al Salim's 9th Fleet, Vice Admiral Ulahu's 10th Fleet, Vice Admiral Borodin's 12th Fleet, and Vice Admiral Yang's 13th Fleet, made up of the remains of the 12th, 4th, and 6th Fleets. Presumably, unless they've been folded into the fleets we already see here, the 1st Fleet and 11th Fleet are unaccounted for, presumably playing home guard.
Somebody has to. I hope they're not that moronic, but yeah.
Well, I mean, I assume maybe one of those is going to stay at Iserlon, and one of them is probably around Odin.
Not Odin, Henan? The capital,
Odin. You don't know.
Yeah, Odin would be the imperial capital.
Yeah, well, maybe they want to be at Odin.
They'll probably won the war already. They are there.
I don't think so. So this is an argument I have when I'm reacting to Space Battleship Yamato, that Gamelus, the homeworld of the Gamelins, fell at the end of the first season. And then it's always like, the Gamelus people have been wiped out. There's only like the one or two guys left. It's like, it's just their fucking homeworld. They're a multi-galactic empire. You don't just take out their homeworld and they just suddenly vanish. It also happens to Voltace 5. Multi-galactic conquerors. You took out one planet, and now we've defeated them forever. It's like, what are we? This is supposed to be the real robot genre. This isn't super robot shit.
My second to last note. Tronic is just playing it safe. If I said another episode, and I think he's still.
I don't know. It feels manipulative in a weird way.
Yeah, and he's like, well, if I know that people want this battle. I want this battle, but if I say that I don't, and something happens, and then I've been I've been the voice of reason, because he knew.
I get that's the point behind it. It's the element that he's been giving speeches this entire time, pro-war, pro-invasion. So to suddenly, all out of nowhere, not vote for it, and then go public with, I can't tell you what the result of the vote was, but I can tell you I didn't vote for it. It's weird. Also, it doesn't seem fitting for the moment, because imagine, the only win for you now is the failure of the invasion, right? So is it a real political win to lose 30 million people? Like, granted, you might not have voted for it, but you're still the Secretary of Defense. Still, the loss of those people is going to fall on your head some point. Even if you voted against it, you're still responsible for, fulfilling the results of the vote. You can't just say, well, I voted against it, even if we failed. No, you still have a job to do in regards to it. But further than that, if the Alliance loses 30 million people, 220,000 ships, you're going to be what? The winner of the rubble? Like, the Empire's going to come on back through.
Yeah.
Your political success is going to be nothing. You better find an ice asteroid and pull yourself a harness in and find a new alliance.
Well, it doesn't necessarily. Politicians make what they seem to be, for them to be crafty maneuvers. Doesn't necessarily mean they actually are smart.
Well, no, I'm saying that job this entire time has been shown to be like a chess master or something like that, and this just doesn't seem to play in to anything I could see him seeing to be intelligent. I mean, unless at the end of the day he turns out he's actually an Imperial agent or something.
Could be.
I mean, that would make sense to me. That he's like filled all of the rest of the politicians' minds with false ideas of nationalism and everything. And the responsibility of the rebellion, the alliance. Sorry, if you start calling the rebellion, it really would be. I am Imperial. Anyway, filling all their minds with this self-destructively, that I would be perfectly reasonable to me to find out the alliance loses, and then he just shows up on Odin one day. Or, we see the Imperial High Commissioner on Pheasant picking up Job. Job just dropped himself off on Pheasant to get himself back into the Empire or something. Turns out his name is actually Count Job Trunick.
Yeah, taking down his like sweat, his 3-piece suit and putting one of those Imperial 18th century clothing, with the cravat and everything. It's like, oh yeah. Well,
I mean, it would work for me in like the sense of like old World War II films. Like, remember back in Dishonor, I indicated how everyone had their own gun, but the Imperial police all had the same gun. That if he was like packing for a thing and suddenly we saw it under like a bunch of folded clothes an Imperial issue gun, like, oh, hint, that'd be good. It'd be a visual hint, just unsaid, dependent entirely upon you paying attention to, just the visual cues of things that have been going on.
That was my note.
Falk says that there are 25 billion citizens in the Empire. That's the first time I think that we've been told how many people there are.
Seems like a small number, if you think about it.
It doesn't really.
I mean, you can
how many hundreds of years of war, just constantly throwing people into the meat grinder. That is just also citizens. That's not military people.
I mean, ostensibly all the military people are citizens.
Well, for one thing, it could be serfdom and everything. Who knows? But the element is that I don't think they're regarding the military. Remember, they regard saving the Imperial citizens. They don't regard saving the Imperial military.
No, not the direct enemy. Yeah, Falk is also a moron. So yeah, abject blinded moron. And my last then, I'm talking about Falk. Yeah, probably gonna call him fuck forever now. Empty patriotism doesn't win battles or wars, Falk. I see an exploding ship in your future. Although it doesn't seem like a frontline commander anyway, so I don't think he's gonna have a ship exploding for him. But I mean, that would be fitting.
Spoilers I have in my head. Although my last note also regards Falk, so I'll just read this in response. Falk is the closest thing I think we've seen to a political officer in the show yet. He's touting the party line as though it were law, casting aspersions to anyone asking questions as absolutely on the Empire's side. Somehow a staff officer shut down a room full of combat veterans with political rhetoric.
Yeah, and again, I think it shows a decay of the Alliance, right? That you have people like him who are capable of wielding so much power in that room, not because of what they've done other than being a top graduate of the academy. Clearly, he has political backing, right?
I mean, you're saying that this is evidence of the decline of the Empire. I mean, the Alliance.
The Alliance.
Oh, you mean the Rebels? Anyway.
Alliance.
Rebels. But the point is that this might have been the strength of the Alliance. Now it's turning into its failure. That this fanaticism they had in their own righteousness may have been the cause of their ability to take over half of the galaxy and stand against the Empire. Now that they have on the waning end, that same fanaticism is their weakness.
It doesn't, the way they talk about the founder and how they will react to this doesn't give me a sense. Because literally we have the sort of, the Jesus figure pose, like, the Jesus in
I don't even remember the same guy. Arl was like some guy who's like, what's his name?
The founder.
Arl Heinesen.
Heinesen, yeah.
Yeah. If you've seen the images of him back in Gaiden and everything, he's like a Jesus figure. He looks like a toned down version of what's the guy who like first crossed the Antarctic?
No, but there is a giant statue of him with hands outstretched.
Yeah, there's statues of everybody everywhere.
Yeah, no, but it reminds me of the Christ that's looking over
Christ the Redeemer in Brazil.
Yeah, in Brazil. And the helicopters flying.
Yeah, I'm saying though, we get tons of that in the Empire too, which is like statues are statues. I'm just saying if you look at like literally in the first episode with Yang, there's the image on literally they have a picture of him like leading people, because remember they got here on a giant ice rock that they piloted from the Empire. Yeah, they have him in like big old parka and everything, leading a bunch of people to freedom. And it's like that's less Jesus-y, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. But the point wasn't the Jesus pose. The point was that when they referred to him, they said he wouldn't approve of. He will be turning in his grave. That's how it gets translated by the state of the current alliance. And my take on that is that he wouldn't approve of this blind fanaticism and the.
I mean, it doesn't read as anything to me. Obviously, the alliance was founded by the people. Well, obviously, the alliance was founded by the people under him. What he would regard as anything is pretty much not even noteworthy.
Oh, it is. If that's the kind of symbol that you look toward to.
Soviet
right? This
Union
is the ideal
was not
of the
formed
alliance.
by Lenin.
Huh?
The Soviet Union wasn't formed by Lenin. The people under Lenin formed the Soviet Union.
No, literally, he was part of the forming of the Soviet Union.
What's his name? Stalin and what's the guy who went to Mexico and was fucking assassinated?
Trotsky.
Yeah, Trotsky. Literally, these are the people that did the backbone of the work. Lenin started the revolution. Arl started the revolution. The fanatics under him would have been the ones who did the work. They are the ones that it doesn't matter what he thought. I'm saying at the end of the day, they're using it. He's a figurehead. Again, he's the fucking statues. I'm saying they saying, oh, he wouldn't want this. The same thing is, who the fuck knows what you want? You probably idolized him to the point that you don't even know who the real man is anymore. It's the people under him, the fanatics, which is what I was saying before, that probably got the alliance to where it is.
I don't think it requires fanaticism, but sure.
I'm saying that's probably. I'm leading into the previous argument I was making about it was probably their strength at the beginning is now their weakness. That you were reading it as the weakness is the downfall of the alliance, and I'm saying it's probably what got them here to begin with. They're probably following the same book that they formed the alliance on, and it turns out that it's not a long-term playbook, and they just can't change. The same way that the Empire can't change, it's just the Empire established itself early on and hasn't had a reason to change.
Well, those are my notes.
All right, well, with nothing left to do, I guess I'll put in.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Sometimes the commentary and a stroke sound exactly the same way.
Well, people do get mini strokes. Hopefully, that's not the case here. Yeah.
Sorry, actually, I just contacted one of the people I used to work with a long time ago for the first time in forever. Apparently, they had a stroke like 5 years ago.
Oh.
Since they live alone, they had to get back to using the right-hand side of their body on their own.
Yeah. My mom had a stroke about now close to 15 years ago on Mother's Day of all times.
And they say God doesn't have irony.
And probably the final irony is that God doesn't exist, but sure.
Winning some viewers today.
Yeah, well, where's your God now? I don't know. I haven't seen him yet. A lousy joke.
Well, yeah, because you didn't tie it into anything.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I mean, usually, where's your God now, Flanders? But you didn't even pull the Simpsons out. You just where's your God now? Or, old man yells at clouds. Sorry, that's another reference. Simpsons.
Yeah. Well, Simpsons. Yeah, that's Grandpa Simpson. And the things we do to talk over this intro.
God damn it. Oh, I changed the... Oh, no, I didn't change this one. Episode 14 is going to be my first test into changing the subtitles into not getting 3 and 4 stacked. Haha, you thought we were German coded? Technically, we're Russian coded for this time. Napoleon's got nothing on us.
諸提督方も承知しておられるように、同盟軍は解放軍、五民軍を自称しておる。すなわち奴らは占領地域の民衆に生活の保障を与える責務を負うことになる。
つまり敵軍の物資食料を民衆に吸い取らせようということか。まさか。
そう。イゼルローンに近接する各政系から中流軍と共に食料物資をすべて引き上げる。
Overture?
I mean, this is already an argument that we had. I said that the Alliance would get waylaid by trying to take care of every Imperial citizen on the way, and they're counting it as part of their plan.
I mean, there's always the fact that they're not going to be welcome because the Imperial force, the Imperial people are loyal to the Empire.
What an uncomfortable looking chair.
Well, yeah, those are a message.
この命令はローエングラム元帥が出されたものだ。むやみに民衆を苦しめるようなことはなされまい。我々はそれを信じて、ただ与えられた任務を遂行。
I think he is going. Well, he's counting on the Alliance to not be cruel to this. Well, I guess they have to.
No, they can't. Remember,
No, they
we'll
can't,
sacrifice our own lives to make sure the Imperial citizens are good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we've already covered that the Alliance military is horrible with supply lines. I guess that was Supreme Commander from Tron. Don't know what I was looking at with that map. Meanwhile, at Tres Kushrunada's house.
They look up into the sky and see.
どうした、モンターク。はい、ただいまこの星の中流軍本部より知らせが参りまして。ついに来たか。モンターク、お前はどう考える？領民のことを思えば素直に反乱軍の占領下に収まるべきであることは誰の目にも明らかだ。しかしそうなればこのクラインゲルト家の名誉はどうなる？いや、わしは追い先短い身だ。しかし息子のアーベントが残したフィーアとカールの行く末を考えるとな。それが旦那様、来訪しましたのは我が軍の方だそうで。援軍なのか。
No, didn't expect that. I almost thought he was going to have anti-imperial sentiment because he lost his own son to it before. Oh, that's right. No, they probably come to take the food.
Yeah.
Get everyone's hopes up and realize, oh no, this is more of a Warhammer 40k thing, actually.
反乱軍がすぐそこまで迫っているというのに援護するどころか我が領地の物資をすべて徴収するとは何たること。
Yep, that's exactly what's going to happen.
この星の領民を飢えて死なそうというのか。
Yes.
いえ、侵攻してくる反乱軍は民衆を解放することを旗印にしています。領民たちが要求すれば食料物資などを提供するはずです。そうかもしれん。しかし保証はあるまい。
It's also a good point.
Well, I mean, we already heard from the Alliance side that that's actually what they will do.
True, but, you know, he doesn't know that. He can't count on that.
Well, I think he can, because it came from Reinhardt, and Reinhardt seems to have this, like, sixth sense about the future.
No, I mean, the leader of the nobleman, he can go like, yeah, the rebels are going to treat me right. You sure about that? Oh.
見知っているものか。クラインゲルト子爵。明朝までにお答えを。
Oh. Former lover?
Well, no. His son was her husband. Unless this is a Yang situation. That's not the Imperial run. No, I had nothing to say.
Yeah. Just impressed by the uniform.
にいなくなっちゃダメですよ。おじい様が心配なさるでしょ。
君の子供だったのか。
ええ。そしてこのクラインゲルト家の次期当主となるカールです。
Reinhard.
さあ、おじい様のところへお行きなさい。お母様もすぐに参ります。
はい、お母様。
The
You
man that
offered to
could have
take
been
him
my
on the
daddy.
ship?
2年ほどしか経っていないものだから、まだ忘れられないのです、あの子は。あの人も軍人だったから、どこか似ていたのね、あなたと。
So that skunk spot.
少し歩かないか、もしよければ。
Being a widow for 2 years.
何年ぶりだろう。
Better be longer than 2 years.
There you go. Flashback.
Which is the element that he's been dead for 2 years. How long has it been? Well, it better be 2 years or more.
Yes, or that is actually your actual son.
Yeah, 9 months ago was the last time we had to walk like this.
Yeah.
よし、その言葉忘れんなよ。
He did not catch her.
Oh, yeah, no. Politics trumps love, I guess.
フィア、もう一緒に遊んであげられないんだ。戦場に行くことになったんだ。
Well, I mean, they had the
Oh, so he's
draft.
older than him. Yeah.
これからすぐに。ごめん、もっと早く知らせようと思ってたんだけれど。
帰ってくる。
わからない。
いや、言っちゃ嫌だ。約束したじゃない。フィアをお嫁さんにしてくれるって約束したじゃない。
いいかい、フィア。僕はフィアたちの幸せを
My problem is,
戦いに行くんだ。
she married somebody who was also a soldier.
Yeah.
So what was his excuse?
Probably higher standing politically.
I'd have to go back and check the picture. Like I said, with the Empire, the same thing I appreciate about Xeon uniforms and Gundam. You can tell what their rank is by looking at them. I just can't remember right here clearly.
お父様はこのクラインゲルト家が全てなの。戦争は嫌い。私の愛するものを全て奪い去るわ。あなたも、そしてアーベントも。この上お父様の誇りさえも奪う権利が誰にあるの？
I mean, your father acknowledges that he was at the end of his life anyway. So, time.
どうかな、漁師様の親方の方へ行ったようだったが。
どうせなら早く出てってくれればいいのに。
バチ当たりなこと言うでね。あれは援軍だぞ。
誰の？貴族のか？オラたちには関係ないべ。なんでも反乱軍ってのは平民ばっかりの軍だそうだ。オラたちを解放してくれるんだっていう噂だべ。
解放？オラ別に解放なんてしてもらいたかね。
Well, there you go. There's the Imperial opinion.
そうかもしんねえけどよ。
まあ帝国軍でも反乱軍でもとにかくここが戦場になるのはなしにしてもらいたいもんだな。
あ、本当にそうだ。
I also like the fact of looking down on getting rescued by other commoners.
何をなさっておいでなのだ。敵がこの星にやってくるまであと16時間を切ったぞ。
苦しんでおられるのだ。私だったらこのような死で告げに行くことすらできないだろう。リミットまではまだある。待つしかないんだよ。
まだこちらにおいででしたか。キルヒアイス、こういう星の美しい夜はきっとどこかの名も知れぬ小さな星がひそやかに消え去っているのだ。だからその星の分まで他の星々は輝きを増す。消え去った星の犠牲のもとにですか。いや、定めのもとにだ。今日は長い夜になりそうだ。
I have a feeling that's actually to come later.
Yeah. The long night of the soul.
I would say
Could
knives.
you have lights? Oh, well, true.
It's a variation of the clapper.
The knocker?
ああ、なかなか寝つけなくてな。 モンターク、お前はよく仕えてくれた。幼い頃からお前はわしの友であり、良き教師であった。
Oh, he's older than him.
何をおっしゃいます、旦那様。お礼を申し上げねばなら
I
ない。
mean, might legitimately be the Russian thing.
このクラインゲルト
No shaving your beard.
いただいた40年間が私の人生のすべてでございました。これからも。
いや、クラインゲルト家の歴史は今宵で幕を閉じるだろう。
それでは。
領民を無益な戦いに巻き込むことはできないからな。
しかし。
なあ、モンターク。宇宙と言わず帝国にとっても我らのような小国がいくつか滅びたところでわずかばかりの影響も与えはしないのだろうな。
As per my argument with the subjugation fleets.
威厳や誇りなどはただの安っぽい飾りとしか映るまい。
旦那様。
Don't do anything crazy.
フィア、父上とカールのことをくれぐれも頼む。大丈夫。私は必ず生きて帰るよ。約束する。
That's a promise you should never make.
Also, yeah, he was lower rank.
Lower rank politically, not militarily.
No, he was lower rank militarily.
No.
The uniform, what's her name? What's his name here? Is a admiral's uniform. That guy was more like captain below. I can't remember. The admiral stuff has the ball and the joint. See, like his assistant there.
我々の退却に要する時間を考慮すると、リミットは今から2時間だな。それまでに子爵の了解を得られない場合は作戦を強行しろ。しかし司令官、この作戦は我々だけの問題ではない。失敗すれば全てが無駄になるのだ。帝国の存亡がかかっていることを忘れるな。
ずいぶん早いお出ましですな。
は、多少状況が変化しましたので。
なるほど。どうやらお急ぎのようなので手短に結論をお伝えする。我々は指示された指令に従う。
Oh, good. I mean, you had no choice, but good.
私にできることでしたら。
いや、ぜひともやってもらう。というのは、フィーアとカールのことだ。二人をオーディ
Take him with you.
Yeah, I said that early on.
それはもちろんですが。まさか子爵は。
わしはここに残る。
そんな。敵は間もなくやってきますぞ。
その敵の中に食料も持たぬ領民たちだけを残していくことはやはりわしにはできん。
しかし、
それにこの地は我が先祖が
Because that implies that every planet that's getting this order, they're evacuating the nobility.
Yeah, because they can't take the shame of being captured.
どうせわしは老い先短い身だ。オーディンかどこかで客死するよりも、たとえ反乱軍に処刑されようと、領民に殺されようと、この地で果てることを選びたい。だが孫のカールは5歳、嫁のフィーアもまだ若い。あの者たちは生きるべき未来がある。年寄りの干渉になど付き合うことはない。頼む、准将。この通りだ。あの二人を頼む。そしてカールのベルト家を再興できるよう計らってほしい。
お手をお上げください。私にできるだけのことはいたします。
Because I got less than 2 hours to make this happen.
くれぐれも頼む。カールはあのアーベントの血を引いた子だ。きっといつの日かクラインゲルト家を復興させてくれることだろう。
Will he though?
しかし、民衆の方はいかがなさいます？
それはわしに任せてもらおう。さあ、早くフィーアのところへ行ってやってくれ。
はい。
And then the twist is going to be she refuses to leave.
And either she stays or she gets dragged out.
Well, like I said, don't do something crazy. Because I could see her smothering her own child for something.
Yeah.
People get crazy in these moments.
通しなさい。
お父様がそんなことを。
フィーヤ、急いで支度をしてくれ。あまり時間がないんだ。
Make arrangements, just leave with him. Oh, good, he's still alive.
ここを戦場にしないためには必要な処置なのだ。心配はいらん。供出した物資や食料も反乱軍が来れば倍になって帰ってくるぞ。心配するな、わしも残るのじゃ。
I mean, they already expressed their faith in him anyway, so I don't think they were going to kill him. Not now, anyway. Maybe when the rebels show up and don't have any food.
Yeah.
Again, we know God has a sense of irony. When it rains, it means a bad outcome.
順調だな。ああ、だがあと1時間しかないぞ。
いけない。カールもお父様も。いえ、この国のすべてをあの人は愛していた。捨ててはいけない。
しかし。
言ってください。
But I promised.
カールもきっと分かってくれると思います。カール。カール、おじい様のところへ帰りましょう。
You know we're going to see this kid dead at some point.
In the rebellion, the citizens when they start to
Who the fuck knows? It's just they're making him way too cute.
Yeah.
And this is about to be a war thing. You know, we're not going to see him dead. We're going to see the toy broken somewhere, and we're never going to see him again.
Yeah.
Broken promise.
いや、かろうじて間に合いましたな。いよいよです。敵が現れました。よし、全艦全速で離脱。はっ。さらばだ。
And you made the comment that your bridges are equivalent to ours. God damn it, turn off your headlights.
Yeah, why so many? Are they gonna blot out the zone? Oh, well,
you know, today when it rains on one planet, it rains on all the planets.
Apparently, yeah.
雨というのは消えた名もない星々の涙なのかもしれませんね。詩人だな。めめしいだけ。
Also, that's a metaphor we were making yesterday. Kerchase.
Yeah. Last night, actually. Beef patty. Well, you gotta eat something, I guess.
Eiyuu 惑星同盟は帝国の圧政を逃れた共和主義者によって建てられた国家である。したがってその戦いは未だ帝国の圧政に苦しむ民衆の解放を目的としている。だがその解放すべき民衆との蜜月時代は長く続かなかった。
Because we suck at supply chains. Conceivably, if they took all the food with them,
yeah,
that means they have no current supply of food. Meaning, they either give those people a couple of days' supply, and they're going to have to keep supplying them with food.
Yeah.
Or not.
Let them starve. Yeah.
So I guess that's literally the argument I said before that you argued against me on, that they wouldn't do that.
Well, I wasn't counting on the part that Reinhard was going to pull out all the supplies from that planet.
Not just
which
that
makes
planet,
sense.
every planet.
Every planet, yeah.
So means they're going to run out at some point,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're going to have to bring in supplies from elsewhere, which again, they're shit at, has been proven before.
Yeah.
Or, give up their own supply, which is also going to waylay them.
It's a smart strategy.
It's a Russian retreat.
Yeah, it's a scorched earth.
Well, it's not a scorched earth.
Well, they're not destroying
Scorched earth
anything,
would be
but they
literally
are.
burning their fields to the ground and making the citizens even worse off. But literally, it's leaving nothing behind. It's worse than leaving nothing behind. Because the Alliance isn't like living off the land or anything, but it's still the same effect. They're losing for everything that they take. That's right. I forgot that I edited out the ending. I was about to say, "Oh, next time on."
Yeah, no. They have to garrison every planet. They have to supply every planet they take. Yeah. I mean, I guess they couldn't. Again, they're trapped by the ideology, right? They are going to liberate people, and therefore they have to deal with that.
Like I said, aspects of stuff that I know already. It's after this arc that I know nothing anymore. And I don't know how long this arc is going to last in this show. I know it was something in Die New Thieves. I don't want to... Saying the length of an arc would also be a spoiler.
Yeah.
But Die New Thieves was also, again, faster. So I don't know what the equivalent would have been either way.
What after, yeah.
I think I said it before. After this, the thing that happened at the end of Klopstock Rebellion happened in Die New Thieves. So even that's out of order a bit. So I wouldn't even know.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is the ironically the calm before the storm. Because if these planets rebel against the Alliance and there's bloodshed there, then the Alliance has a black eye.
I mean, you wouldn't want them to.
No, you wouldn't. But if they're not getting starved, or the KPC shows up, it's like, oh no, you got to be patriotic and be, start,
They wouldn't show up here. I mean
they
for
have
one thing,
the
Empire,
military.
if you're the Empire, you don't want them rebelling against the Alliance. Their dependence on the Alliance is to the benefit of the Empire's battle plan. So you don't want them rising up. You want them highly dependent. That way they demand more and more. So that you're going to eat into the Alliance supplies. And again, the Knights wouldn't show up here because they're a soft core political unit back in the home. They're made for fighting citizens. They're not supposed to be on the front anywhere.
But if you have a rebellion, then you only have to garrison the planets. You have to actively fight against your own citizens. The Empire can point out that these supposedly liberators are nothing more than cruel. I don't think
it matters.
Maybe going for the political win, yeah.
Well, it wouldn't matter. Care. You're hundreds of years into this war. Who are you trying to convince? Pheasant? Calling the other side barbaric doesn't matter. Also, your own citizens don't need to hear it. They don't fucking care. Yeah, this is nobility telling people that lesser to them what to think. They already do that. We got the thought police for that shit. But who are you going to win? This isn't hearts and minds anymore. The Alliance has to do that because the Alliance leadership needs to prove that they're doing a good job to get reelected. The Empire leadership doesn't need to do that. They're not beholden to any such thing. So, at the end of the day, though, you and the Empire want the planets that you're ceding to the Alliance to drain those resources as hard as possible. And I think staying organized, like constant bread lines, whatnot, you want that. An uprising is going to confuse matters to the point where they might not even be trying to beat people. They're going to spend more time trying to put down the uprising, which is man hours, sure, but you want to waste their resources most of all.
Don't waste all resources. I mean, you have to keep ships around you have to garrison the planets, maintain the garrison, fight essentially a rebellion. We don't know how many people are on this planet.
My point is, peasants, though, you could always just back off. You just write it off as, this is a lost cause. Maybe we'll leave for a bit, come back later, and they'll have calmed down. Because it's not like they have a space force. They're literally field peasantry.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. I foresee that we're going to see a couple of episodes of this happening, and eventually, Reinhardt's just going to blast through them, and they're going to have to retreat all the way back to Iceland. That's probably what's going to happen here.
Well, I mean, we already heard Reinhardt say that we don't have to cut them off at the edge of the Iceland corridor. The idea is to draw them
going deeper and deeper and deeper.
Yeah, but the
and
idea
then you cut them off completely.
The idea would be then to cut them off at Iceland corridor, so they're completely cut off, and then you chase them back into the center of the formation. As we already heard from Falk. Falk is like, well, if they attack the center of our supply corridor, we'll just pin them between the two. It's like, no, they're going to cut you off at the entrance, so we definitely know where you're coming in from, and we can cut you off from getting out again. And you've trapped yourself at every planet along the way. We just follow you back in and pick you off now that you're out of supplies, and we're doing what?
Yeah, the only way would be a breakthrough back to Iceland and a long retreat to break through the intercepting forces, defeat those, and then resupply Iceland and be trapped in Iceland, right? With starving soldiers and sailors. And
well, you wouldn't be trapped at Iceland.
I mean, that fleet would be there, but you would need to resupply and get all the people, and then,
Yeah, I'm saying that Iceland's in the middle of the corridor. If you got back to Iceland would be, again,
you'll be shredded along the way.
In the sand.
Yeah, no, but I know. But as you're retreating, you'll be shredded along the way. You picked up forces, so this mighty fleet, essentially is what happened to Napoleon when he went to Russia, right?
Did you not hear me the multiple times I said this during the episode?
Yeah. But didn't mention Napoleon by name.
I literally did say Napoleon by name.
And then
you just tuned me out during that part, I guess.
And then as they're fighting back, that's how it happens. And yeah, it didn't work for Napoleon. It's not going to work for the Alliance.
Again, this is all elements that I already argued before.
It didn't work for the Mustachio Man either. So, and when it came to the Mustachio Man, literally the Empire, the Russians went all the way back to Berlin. So, yeah. Bunker, gun, kerosene. What a way to go.
Obviously, I have no harsh thoughts about this since I'm Imperial facing. So, it's good news for me all the way down.
Anything else?
The benefits of a unified command structure.
I don't think that unified, to be honest.
Tell them out.
No. Yeah, how did that sound? Well, they blamed the two guys fighting each other and not being unified. And people who have gone off to have...
I said a unified command structure. That was a station with dual commanders. That's not a... We're talking about, like, the leadership here, which is literally Reinhardt right now. Reinhardt was been assigned to take care of this. Reinhardt has a unified command structure in which it's Kirchase is his second, along with... God, for some reason, Oberstein's name just escapes me from time to time. I was calling him Ulahana, which is the name of a commander from Bleach. She's the former Kenpachi that turns into the healing woman. Anyway, yeah, he has those 2 second in commands, and he has all his fleet admirals down, which then, he's got a real hierarchy of command going on. Which is why I didn't make, like, a secondary board thing for who would be opposing the invasion fleet, because essentially it's just Reinhardt's group.
Yeah. There you have it.
All that remains to say, then, is that I have been Theta, this has been Lessons, we've been Stone-Faced Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below, and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?